Today, I want to introduce you Algebra 1 students to the concept of a linear inequality. So you've been solving linear equations like 3x equals 9 or whatever. Now we're going to be solving something along the lines of 3x is less than 9, right? So how do we solve for that? So let's start with just that. 3x is less than 9. So how do we solve for this, and what does that mean? Well, what this means is we're solving for which x values can we multiply 3 by, in which case where it'll always be less than 9. So in order to solve for that, we're just going to divide by 3, and we get x is less than 3. So for all x values where x is less than 3, this up here will be less than 9, right? That's what we've just solved for, right? That was pretty easy to do. That was just one step. Then let's change it to 5x minus 2 is greater than 8, okay? So now, once again, we're wondering, which values for x can we put into multiply times 5 and subtract 2, where it'll always be greater than 8? That's what we're trying to figure out here. So just like how you would if there was an equal sign here, we're going to add 2 to each side. We get 5x is greater than 10, or that's an 8, still greater than 10, right? Then, once again, we just divide by 5, and what do you get? You get x is greater than 2. So this is the answer to our problem, right? Then, let's complicate it a little bit more. Let's get negative 3x plus 2 is greater than 7, or negative 7. We'll do negative. All right. So how do we solve for this? Well, once again, we just subtract 2. So we get negative 3x is greater than negative 9. Now we have a problem here. We have this negative 3. And you're used to working with linear equations where you just divide by 3 and everything stays the same. When you're working with linear inequalities like these, right? When we divide or multiply by a negative, the sign, that the way that this thing is facing has to flip. Meaning, so we divide by negative 3, and we get x is less than 3. Okay? It has to flip around. If it doesn't flip around and we get x is greater than 3, it's not going to be a true statement. It has to be x is less than 3. Okay? So now, let's do one more example, throwing together all we know. Actually, here, let me introduce you to one more concept, and then we'll wrap up the video. Let's do a negative. Negative 7 plus 5 is less than negative 9. And this time, though, what we're going to do is, see, we have this symbol here. We're going to draw a little line under it. That means that this is less than or equal to negative 9. That little line under it means or equal to, okay? So we just solve it the same way, but it means something slightly different. So we subtract 5, and we get, this is supposed to be negative 7y, right? Forgot to put the variable there. So we subtract 5, we get negative 7y is less than or equal to negative 14, okay? So once again, this is not negative 7 is less than, negative 7y is less than 14. This negative 7y is less than or equal to negative 14. Then we divide by negative 7, and we have to swap the symbol around. So y, when it was less than before, now has to be greater than or equal to 2. So this is our final answer. Thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you learned something new. Have a great day.